The sunlight hurts my eyes.
Hey, what's up guys, Anarchy46, and today I'm going to be doing a Feed the Beast tutorial on Magmatic Engines and using lava for power in industrial craft as well as thermal expansion. Okay, so basically you can use magma or lava as power for MJ, as you can see with these Magmatic Engines, which I will be going through, and these geothermal generators, which I will be going through for the EU power, which goes to MFSUs, and over here these engines convert to MJ, which works with a lot of different mods, and goes to these Redstone energy cells. Now these store MJ, so you really don't need all of these storage devices that I have on each side, but I just put it there because, you know, if you want to store a lot of energy, these this magma energy or lava power is a very sufficient source. So to set this all up, basically what you need is two liquid tesseracts. Now what I'm doing, where I'm actually getting this lava from, is the nether. So what you want to do first, before you even get to the nether, obviously, is grab a chunk loader. Because without a chunk loader by your pump in the nether to pump the lava out of a lava pool into your liquid tesseract and back to the overworld, the chunk loader, it keeps the chunks loaded by your pump, and without it, you won't. This whole thing will not work. So you really need this chunk loader. The recipe is not too bad. It does require an enchantment table, so that is 2 diamonds. However, overall it's really not too bad to make. And the liquid tesseract, this takes quite a bit of time to make. The details on that are on my tesseracts tutorial. If you want to check that out, I'll have a link in the description to that so you can learn more about tesseracts and how to use them in other ways, as well as just magma or lava from the nether. So let's head to the nether so I can show you the setup for that. Now, first things first, you're going to want to find a lava pool. Now, I got lucky, and in this world it was just right over here. Sometimes you have to search a little bit in the nether, but it shouldn't be too hard for you to find a lava pool. Okay, so let's just fly over there. Oops. Ah. Okay, oof, alright. A little bit laggy. It does get a little bit laggy when you have a whole ton of magma in the nether and you're trying to pump it out. Anyways, let's wait for that lag to spike. Okay, so what you're going to want to have set up is a pump in the middle. 4 redstone engines are good enough. You could use other engines from Buildcraft that are a little bit better, but you really don't. And the reason why I don't, personally, is because you don't have to come here and mess with them. You just turn them on with a lever and they're good forever. You don't ever have to screw around with them, and you really don't. You don't need anything better because your engines are only going to be able to take in so much lava at once. So 4 redstone engines will be fine. Put it around that pump, and you're going to want to probably put the pump towards the center of the lava pool so that it will get the most lava out of it, and it will, make the little, what's it called? This thingy, oh my god. This little, like, tube-like thing to go down into the lava. So you can set it up here, and then what you need to do is put a, ooh, god, lag. So a waterproof pipe connected to the pump, and then connect that to the tesseract. Now the tesseract, you're going to want to have it set on frequency 1, and your configuration is going to be send only. So that's very important so that you actually are able to send the lava. And right here I just have the chunk loader, so oops. Now I don't have a chunk loader. You're going to want to have it set on 9 chunks. And the reason why is when I show these lasers, this is the radius that it's actually loading. So you probably won't exceed anything further than this. And that's why I have it on 9 chunks. If you have it anything less, it may not. Okay, so once you're back in the regular world, as you can see, you're going to have your second liquid tesseract set up so that you can have it coming back to the overworld. You're going to want to have your configuration set to receive only and on frequency 1 so that they will both be on the same frequency and your lava will be being sent to the right place. Now, you can have as many pipes hooked up to it as you really want. So I just have 2 so I can demonstrate that it will work for EU power and for MJ power. And quickly, let me just set times 0. Oops. And over here, you're going to have your Magmatic Engines. Now, the recipe is really not too bad for these. All it is some Invar, which to get Invar, all you need is, Invar blend and blah blah, 2 iron, 1 ferrous, so it's really not all that bad for that. And above those engines, now you really don't need 4, you could just have 1 and it should give you a decent amount of power. I just have 4 set up just for tutorial purposes, and on top of those, to actually move the MJs over to your storage cells or your machines that you're hooking them up to, you're going to want to use redstone conduit cables. Now, the reason why I'm using redstone conduit cables instead of just the golden conductive pipes from Buildcraft is because when the golden conductive pipes get filled up with too much MJ, say like all these get full and these engines are still running, the pipes will explode and you'll lose a pipe, which kind of sucks if you have like a long setup and they just keep bursting, That's not really any fun. So, and the conduit cables, they never burst or explode. They just the power just, I don't know, they just never explode. I'm not really sure what happens to power exactly, but that's why I use the conduit cables, because you don't have to screw around with the pipes exploding and worrying about too much MJ in one pipe. So that's why I use the redstone energy conduits. Now, you could just use the Buildcraft conductive pipes, but I use conduit cables. Anyways, if you're using the conduit cables, what you're going to want to have set up is have them over top of the engines, and they are going to need to be set to orange. Now, when they're set to orange, they are giving an output. Now, when they're set to blue, they are getting input. So, to keep it on orange, so these are outputting MJ power, and these are getting input MJ power. So blue is input, and the orange is the output. So on top of your engines, you're going to want to have it orange. So I guess you could think of that as orange for lava, so lava, orange. I don't know. That's maybe one way to remember it. It's really not too hard to remember that. So that's how you use the Magmatic Engines, and it's a really great way for MJ, as you can see inside the redstone energy cells. Even with 3 of them, it gains pretty quickly. I think it's like 100 MJ per tick. Well, that's how much the max input is, but it's going to 3. So let's just see how fast it would be if you just had it going to 1. Yeah, that is really fast. The max input is only 100 MJ, so if you had this hooked up to a quarry, I mean, these four engines would be making that quarry going really, really fast. So it's a really good source of power. I definitely love using it. It's really great, On the EU side, geothermal generators are also a really great way for getting geothermal power. Or not geothermal, I mean EU, and using geothermal power from lava. So what you're going to do is hook up your pipes to the bottoms of the geothermal generators. Once again, you don't really have to have 4, that's just tutorial purposes. And then above it, you're going to want to have some kind of transport EU cable or whatever. And you really don't need glass fiber, I just put that there. You could use, I'm not too sure about copper cables. I think those are too low of voltage, but I would probably use insulated HV cables. They're not too expensive. Glass fiber you have to use diamonds on, which not really the best thing to do when you're first starting out. So you could hook it up to really a bat box, an MFSU, MFE, any of the EU storage devices. You really don't need an MFSU. I just put that there for a tutorial, and so that is how you use the EU to your. It's pretty simple for EU. EU is a lot more simpler than MJ, but either way you slice it, you have your MJ power and your EU power from lava from the nether, and it's pretty much infinite. I mean, you see how big that lava pool is. So it's pretty much infinite power. It's a really great source of power. You use it for MJ with the Magmatic Engines and geothermal generators. Once again, if you want to see the recipe for geothermal generators, it's really not that bad. The recipe for pump, once again, really not all that bad. Just more iron, and you can look up all the other recipes that, or for all the other items I did use in this tutorial. Oh, and one last thing to keep in mind, when you're placing these magmatic engines, you'll see, so if I place down a new one right here, this could be a very big problem. As you can see, it's going to be powering that. You really don't want that. What you're going to want is to use a Buildcraft Wrench. Now, the recipe for this is really, really easy. It's almost nothing. I mean, it's just 3 iron and a stone gear. So that's pretty easy. What you're going to want to do is just right-click once, and then it will fix itself and go upwards into the cable. Now, that's one really, really important thing. Otherwise, once again, your engines will be messed up. So that's one thing to keep in mind when you're placing them side by side. If you're placing them really close together like this, as you can see, the same problem happens. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you have any comments, questions for me, leave them in the comments below. Leave me a like if this really helps you out. Thanks for watching. See you next time.